Please excuse how my face looks. I went out with a couple friends last night and I didn't get much sleep, so if I look a little pale or if I seem a little slow, it's because I'm kind of sleep deprived, but I really want to get this video out there. So bear with me as I go through this video, and I hope you enjoy it. Bye guys! I look like a mess, but that is okay. Hi guys, it's Kimmy here, and yeah, I'm already a week behind on videos, but that's okay. This video is going to be a story time, and I hope you enjoy it because it's probably one of my favorite stories I get to tell. This is a story about the time I went to visit my best friend in Seoul during the summer last year, and I got to meet my favorite producer, Chacha Malone. Yes, you heard me right. My best friend got to introduce me to Chacha Malone. Those of you who don't know who Chacha is, he is an artist, he is a producer, and he is a b-boy. He is the creator of the ineedachachabeatboy hashtag that's in his songs, and it's just caught on a lot. But he produces songs for AOMG, and of course himself, but he also works with artists outside of AOMG as well. He's on the b-boy team in Seattle called Art of Movement, and he goes to Seoul a couple times a year. So let's just get into it about how I got to meet him, because I think it's kind of funny. My best friend thinks otherwise. So last summer, toward the end of July, I decided to go visit my best friend in Seoul for 2 weeks, but I ended up extending it an additional 2 weeks to hang out with her because I didn't have to go back to school till later on in August. And I mean, why not? I could spend more time with my best friend. And the whole reason I went, besides missing like spending time with her, I had a lot of stuff that happened, and my dad advised me to go visit my best friend and maybe that would lift my spirits. And it did. So I got into Seoul, we hung out, and then I got into Seoul on a Wednesday, I think. And it took me like a little over a day to get used to like the different time zones and jet lag. But she wanted to take me out to some of her like favorite poppin' clubs in Hongdae. And Hongdae is known for like the like party scene, so she took me out there. It was a Friday night, and but before we went to the clubs, we met up with our other friend that's like a mutual friend of ours, and we got dinner, and one of her other friends came that I hadn't met, and we got dinner because we decided we are going to drink. We shouldn't drink on an empty stomach. That is something really important to remember. Don't drink on an empty stomach. So we got dinner, had a couple bottles of soju. I think we had like a couple like things of beer to mix the soju with, and then we decided we were going to go to Hongdae and hit up some of the clubs. Now, my best friend's friend had to leave after dinner because she had something to do in the morning, I think. I can't really remember that. I just know she wasn't with us when we went to the club. So our other friend went with us, and this is where the whole story starts to slowly unfold. When we left the place where we had dinner, we were already like a little buzzed, but I mean, we were still able to walk and talk and function pretty much because we had soju. And that's the thing about soju, it will sneak up on you if you're not careful. I've had quite a few instances where it snuck up on me, but anyways, that's not a part of the story. So we get to the club, and I wasn't really paying attention to everyone else that's outside. I was talking to our friend and getting my passport out to show the bouncer so I could pay the cover and go in. And while I was talking to my friend, like I had my back to my best friend while I was talking to our other friend, my best friend like started hitting my shoulder. So I turned to her, and she was like, "You just missed Chacha, he walked into the club." I was like, well damn, like I missed him, but I knew he was going to be in the club, so that kind of relieved me a little bit, because maybe I'd have another chance to run into him while I was actually in the club. So we go in, we head straight to the bar, and we all took tequila shots the first round. And then we got beers and we went to the bathroom, freshened up, and, you know, just did what girls do. And then we were just, you know, listening to the music on the side of the, like, DJ booth, where it wasn't, like, too crowded, but still kind of crowded. And after a while, we decided we were going to go back outside to get a little bit of fresh air, because it's a Friday night, it's the middle of summer, it's going to be packed, you know. So we go outside, and we're just, like, talking, getting some fresh air, and again, I was talking to our other friend while my best friend was doing something, I can't remember what, and then she hits my shoulder again, and she's like, "You just missed Chacha again, he walked inside." And I was like, well, damn, like, I keep missing him. Now, I'm not a hard drinker at all, I'm a really big lightweight, but my best friend, she can hold her alcohol, she drinks it pretty well. And if there's one alcohol that will sneak up on her, it is tequila. And we had already had maybe a couple tequila shots by this point. And that made my best friend very, very confident. Since the tequila was making her confident, she had this plan in her mind that she was going to go back into the club, find Chacha, and then bring him back out to meet me. And she told me and our other friend this, and we were like, okay, you know, go ahead, we'll wait right here. And she was like, great, I'll be right back, don't move. So then she, like, bolts into the club, and our other friend was kind of worried about her. I mean, who knows what kind of trouble she could get herself into, right? So she hits me on the shoulder, or she, like, put her hand on my shoulder, and she goes, "We need to go after her." And I was like, yeah, you're right. So we go in, and we go into the club, and somehow we ended up back at the, like, bar section. And, like, I tapped my best friend on the shoulder, and I was like, hey, you know, I mean, we'll run into him eventually, like, don't worry about it. So I had my back to the bar, so I was kind of, like, leaning on it, like, talking to my best friend, talking to her other friend who was over here. And I happened to look up, like, right behind my best friend. And guess who was right behind her? Take a guess. Take a wild guess. That's right. Chacha was standing right behind her. So I looked at my friend, because I was like, and I looked at her, and I was like, hey, Chacha's right behind you. She looked behind her for a second, looked back at me, and she was like, I'll be right back. So then she kind of, like, walked to the side of where Chacha was, and kind of just, like, put her hand on his arm, like, toward his shoulder, I think, and kind of, like, tapped it a little bit. And he turned, and then they hugged, and they talked for a couple minutes, or not even a couple minutes, maybe like 30, 40 seconds. And then my best friend goes, do you remember that friend of mine we Snapchatted a few months back? Well, she's right here. And she, like, kind of pulled me over to where they were, and Chacha kind of turned slightly to, like, see who he was talking about. And guys, let me tell you, he is pretty tall. I wasn't expecting, well, I mean, I knew he was tall, but I wasn't expecting him to be, like, that tall. Because I was wearing shoes that had, like, inserts in them, so I was kind of tall, but not tall. But he was still maybe about that much taller than I was. And he had really broad shoulders. And he's really, really, really polite. So he smiled, and I smiled, and he took my hand, and I was like, hi, you know, I'm Kimmy. And guys, do you know what he said? Do you really want to know what he said? Chacha said, Kimmy, like Kimmy XOXO? Oh, you've supported us for a long time. He knew who I was. My favorite producer knew who I was. Like, I don't know how I didn't flip out at that moment. The fact that he, like, quoted my Twitter and my Instagram name, and oh my god, I just smiled. I was like, yeah, that's me. Like, huh, nice to meet you. We shook hands. And he asked me, oh, what are you doing in Seoul? And I said, oh, I'm visiting my best friend for 2 weeks. I'm just on vacation from school. And he goes, oh, yeah, that's cool. And then I was like, yeah, you know, you're one of my favorite producers. You're one of my role models and inspirations for getting interested in the music scene. And he looked so honored. Like, it made him happy to hear that he had influenced somebody. And then I was still like in the mode of trying to get over that he knew who I was. And then he bought shots for all of us, or my best friend bought shots for all of us. I can't remember exactly. I just know one of those two bought us all shots, and it was tequila again, of course. So we all cheers, we all took our shot, and then I talked to Chacha for, I guess, like another minute or two, and my best friend was talking to, I think, Up, but I'm not 100% sure. It was dark in the club, I couldn't really see, but she was talking to Up or whoever it was, and it looked like they were like best friends. They hugged each other, they were like laughing and giggling, they acted like they were best friends. And it was just great. Like, I was so happy in that moment that I got to meet Chacha, that he knew who I was, that I am so proud of myself that I did not make a complete and utter fool of myself, let me tell you. Now by this point, I think it was getting close to like 3 a.m.-ish, and our other friend who was with us had to leave because she had to go home because she had like early work in the morning. We were like, yeah, that's fine. We'll walk you up. We'll probably stay for another hour or so, and then we're going to go home. So then we walked her outside, and we stayed out maybe a few more seconds just to get some cold, fresh air because it's kind of hot. We head back down, and Chacha and everyone he was with kind of disappeared, which was fine because it's a club and there's a lot of people he knows there, and it's probably like hanging out with a bunch of people he hadn't seen for a while. So my friend and I, we got another drink from the bar, and then we kind of like migrated back to the side where we just hung out to like talk and listen to the music. And then I think after a little while we decided to go back home, but it didn't hit me until after we got home that I didn't ask to get a picture with Chacha because I was so starstruck that he knew who I was. I was just living the moment of being able to talk to him, and it was great. But my best friend tried to buy us all shots again, like after we'd just taken a shot. She wanted to buy like another round, and I can't remember exactly, but I think she ended up only buying like me, our other friend, and herself a shot because the other people were like, no, we're good, like, but thanks. But I can't like 100% remember. So I did get to see him one last time before I left, but it was kind of like in passing. We were passing the bar, and he was going like toward the back where like the VIP area was, I guess. So we kind of like just waved to each other, and then I left, and my friend and I left together, and then we got a taxi and we went back to her place, and she just passed straight out, but I ended up staying up for a little bit, like just reliving that I got to meet Chacha. I was so happy. However, when I told my friend about everything that happened that night, she was kind of embarrassed about how she had, because she felt like she was kind of like pressuring everyone to take shots, and she doesn't remember introducing me to Chacha or talking to Up or whoever was next to Chacha. I don't know who it was. I just know they were talking like they were best friends. I will say, getting to meet Chacha was amazing. I really wish I had more time to talk to him. Like, there was so much I wanted to talk to him about, and so much, like, I wanted to ask him about, you know, his clothing line that he was starting. Like, he started with the ineedachachabeatboy shirts, and now he's got a hat, and he's releasing other stuff, but I just want to ask him, like, a bunch of questions about music, and producing music, and promoting it, and everything, but I was so starstruck that my mind just went blank. I could not think of anything. Just being like, yeah, it's me, like, blah blah blah, I'm your biggest supporter in where I live, like, I will always support y'all, like, blah 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 blah. And one of the main reasons that I support Chacha as a producer, as a singer, is he actually cares about his fans, and he interacts with them, and he takes the time to get to know people. At least that's what I got when I met him. Like, he's just an all-around great and polite guy, and I don't know if he knows how happy it made me to get to meet him that night, because I've been trying so hard to meet him. I missed him in LA like twice, and then I just happened to run into him in Seoul during the summer when I was hanging with my best friend. That was probably going to be one of my most favorite memories to date. So that's the story time about how my friend got kind of tipsy and introduced me to Chacha. It wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it was funny to me when I told my friend about everything that happened the next morning, because it was just really funny. But I do have a funnier story about the time me and her were in LA for a concert, and she had just a little too much to drink, and she dissed a rapper. So if you guys want to hear that story, let me know down in the comments and I can record it. I promise it's really funny. But please remember to like, favorite, and subscribe to my Instagrams, and I'll have my Twitter down here also if you want to follow that. But also check out Chacha on Instagram and follow him on Twitter. I'll have all his information down there below. And thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys!